Well, I simply do not believe America is going to have a civil war. If you look all throughout the internet, you'll see that there's a lot of talk about America going to civil war. There are a lot of podcasts about America might be headed towards civil war. Well, I'm here to say I do not think America is going to have a civil war. If anything happens, it would split apart. Like some states would probably go independent, but I don't think a civil war will happen. This is simply because our country it's too domesticated at this point. We have an extremely domesticated population. We're overweight. We're out of shape. A lot of people don't have military training, and those who do is very mediocre. Our military strength is vastly overestimated. We rely more on technology than on human technique. You have all these people talking about if we have a civil war, the right will win, and the left would lose badly. Right wing, like Republicans, left wing Democrats. My thing is, there's a lot of reasons why that would be the case. My thing is, even if that was true, a civil war isn't going to happen anyway. If you notice, the right wing, especially the establishment wing of the party, the people who run the party apparatchiks, they always make concessions because fundamentally they do not believe in what they espouse, and those who do believe in what they espouse aren't in control. What controls the Republican Party is money. Money controls the Republican Party, not ideology. Well, the ideology is neoliberalism, essentially. But money is what controls the Republican Party, not the extremists. If you notice, the Republican Party, quote unquote extremists, the Republican Party always excludes the genuine believers that they can't control, and they include people who have nothing to do with the Republican Party or conservatism, as it's called, but are simply like media talking heads that further like the agenda of people with money. For example, you have people like Blair White being promoted in the quote-unquote conservative movement. She's transgender. This would be unheard of 16 years ago when Obama was running, when he said he did not believe in gay marriage. Now, and the conservatives were so outraged and Republicans were so outraged about gay marriage, but now they're welcoming transgenders openly in the Republican Party, and they're excluding people like Pat Buchanan. Pat Buchanan, of course, ran for president back in the 90s, and he was in the George Bush White House, and he's considered a very good paleo-conservative thinker. Of course, the paleocons lost to the neocons. But anyway, the America is not headed toward a civil war. There's the ethnic core of white Americans is essentially completely like subdued. It's way too diverse, and we have way too much to lose. We have too much staking on the world seeing us as stable and as like the leader of the free world, and all of our capital is not just American capital. Our capital is internationalized now. The people funding the Republican Party are funding it internationally. We no longer have local elites in control of the party. They are national elites. These are international elites. International finance capital. So you have all these people talking about how the Republican Party, how America is going to head to a civil war. I don't think we are. I think, if anything, some states either secede, like maybe Texas and Alaska and maybe Hawaii, or we simply go the way of Brazil, or like third world countries where ethnic blocs vote for their interests. If you notice, Black Americans have been doing that ever since, I would say, the 1960s, maybe even before. Like, we were always mostly Republican. We were mostly Republican before switching to Democrat, but Black Americans, it was mostly ideological and like religious. Now it's just ethnic. It's like Black Americans have an ethnic relationship with the Democratic Party, an ethnic identity with it. It's part of their ethnic identity, and I think this is going to happen more and more with different ethnic groups. You see the Republicans try to welcome Hispanics. These are mostly white passing Hispanics. And if you know, it's Latin America, it's a very racialized country. They tried to say it isn't, but it really is. It's a very racialized country. White Latin Americans tend to vote more right wing, and indigenous and black Afro Latin Americans tend to vote left wing. And we're going to see this more and more in the Republican Party, even if, like, Cubans are mostly white Cubans, and they're mostly like European. So you're going to see more and more like ethnic divisions, and eventually I think that white Democrat males will start voting more than we're probably going to vote Republican, but it won't be enough to offset the increase of immigrants voting for Democrats. So I think the future of America is not Civil War, it's simply California. And once America becomes California, well, which is when Texas goes blue, the Republicans are going to have to make concessions to the left wing. Not the left wing economically, the left wing like culturally. They already are, if you haven't noticed.